Today's recording, we're going to show you how to save a story to Fold3. We're going to use a sample of an individual by the name of Grant Hansen. So if you're doing this at this point, you will have already written up your profile. So I've got a little title here. When I did my profile originally, I grabbed some screen images from some websites. Here I indicated the location I got those photos from. Here's the text of my story that I wrote from him. As you can see, it's not too long. We're not here trying to write someone's biography, but we're just trying to be able to give a little bit of a background about who this person was and why he didn't come home. At the bottom, I've indicated some references. It's always nice when we post to Fold3 to give the reference if it came from a location where someone else has done a lot of research. This allows us to give attribution to that person. We're going to post it to Fold3. So over here, remember in a different video, we checked to see if there had already been a story written on someone. So for this individual by the name of Grant N. Hansen, no story has been written about him. His page on Fold3 has already been set up. It's because at one point, the people at Fold3 found some information from the National Archives that indicated, yes, he served in World War II. This was a serial number, he was in the Army, and that sort of information. But no story yet. So it's pretty easy to add stories. You press the Story tab, and you're going to add a story. And we're going to put a title, so you can title it what you want. I'm just going to put here World War II Fallen, WW2 Fallen, B-24 co-pilot Grant Hansen. So I'm going to copy it from where I originally wrote my story. I'm going to paste it here for the title, and then I'm going to copy the body of what I wrote about him. So I'll scroll down here, down to the bottom, including my references. I'll copy that, and over here where it says add text, I'm going to press that, and then I'm just going to put the text in there, and basically I've just added the story there. So I'm going to press save. Now that story here exists here under Grant Hansen. Now you notice we don't have a picture of him, but we do know where pictures of him are located. So let's go ahead and add those to the gallery. If we go to the Find a Grave web page, there's a photo of Grant Hansen right here. So I've saved it to my hard drive. On my computer, I can press like that, press Save Image, and it's going to save wherever I want to save it on my hard drive. So I've already saved this previously. I should be able to find it by going here, the Fold3 page, add a photo for Grant N. Hansen. I'm going to upload a photo. I'm going to select it from my computer. So on my computer, I can just do a search by his last name because I saved it under his last name. And there's Grant N. Hansen's photo. I'm going to add that. And the caption, I'm going to use the caption for where I found it from. So if someone wanted to find my resource, they can see it came from this website here. So I'll go up here and copy the location from the URL line at the top, and I'm just going to paste it down here for my reference, and then I'm going to press save. So we now have his photo saved in the gallery. We can also get a copy of his gravestone, so we can push that. Again, we're going to press upload. We're going to select from my computer. Last name was Hansen. Here's his gravestone. I've selected it there. This came from the same location, so we're just going to put the same reference for that one. And I do have one other photo of Grant Hansen. And this we got from the Pacific Rex website. So when I was researching Grant N. Hansen, I probably found the Pacific Rex website because I knew the number for the plane he was on. Every bomber plane had a unique number, and so if you type that into a Google search, you should be able to find references anywhere that use that. So I'm going to choose this image, and this one the caption is going to be different because I got it from a different location. It was from this bottom reference. So I'm just going to copy that reference, put it here, and then save. So I went into a program I have on my computer where it lets me edit photos, and I added a circle around Grant Hansen's photo, so you know which one of the persons he was there. So we now have a gallery here. That's pretty good. We do want to edit the profile photo. So which one of these do we want to do the profile photo? Well, let's use his actual picture since we have one. So we'll push that. It lets you move it around a little bit. You can probably leave it like that. Press done. And now his profile photo will show up here at the top for anyone that wants to look at information about Grant and Hansen. So we're done with the galleries. We're done with the stories. We're going to do some facts in a minute, but let's do this edit thing. And we can actually edit the background here. So I think it would be cool to put in the background of him with his crew for the background instead of the default background, which happens to be this tank. So I'm going to push that. I'm going to use this one here. That's the image I'm going to use. And I can move it around a little bit if I want. I'm going to move it down here so his picture is part of the background. And I'll save it. Oh, notice one more thing. It says add a gold star. So we want to push this button here. A gold star, as it says, denotes the individual died while serving in the military. So we press that. We press save. And this gold star wasn't there before, but now it is. So it lets everyone know that this individual, Grant N. Hansen, died during World War II. So we've finished the gallery. We put a background picture here. We have his profile photo here. The summary is basically just going to show some basic information here, what people see. So it actually shows the story that we added, shows the references, shows who posted it here on what day. We do have some more information, though, that we can add some facts. The facts that we have so far say he was born in 1920, but it doesn't actually say the exact date. Do we know the location? Let's look and see from the research we did. It says he was born in Vernal, Utah, January 6, 1920. So if we want, we can increase the accuracy of this by doing add a live fact. It's a birth. So he was born on 06 January 1920. Birthplace was Vernal, Utah. And press save. So now we've got more information here that's saved under here. Over here, under World War II, it doesn't say when he died, so we can add that information here too. That would be under a life fact. And this one would be a death. So over here, he died on November 16th, 1944. He died in a plane crash. November 16th, 1944. So 16 November 1944. The place that he died was so on the way back from, we just put the Pacific, I guess. If I was more confident or had more time, I could research the exact place, but we can put Pacific for now. So now we see more information here. We now have a date of death that's been added on here. We may be able to add some more information here. Do we know what his rank is? Does it say anywhere here? Doesn't say here, but we know that he was a lieutenant, so we can add that information. Military service fact. I think this is going to be a miscellaneous. His rank. He was a lieutenant. think he was a first lieutenant. Let me see where I put that down here. He was a second lieutenant, I said. So let's change that to second lieutenant. Second lieutenant. So we've added that information. So it says he was in the Army branch, Medical Administration Corps. So maybe that's how he enlisted to start with, but at some point he transferred to the Army Air Forces. Just an aside, some people see this referred to as the Army Air Corps, but actually the name changed to the Army Air Forces, I believe, in July of 1941. So that's probably the better way to refer to it. So let's see if we can change the branch he was in. Let's go to miscellaneous again. Fact type, branch. What branch was he in? We can select the branch, Army Air Forces. That's where he was in. So we'll add that. And down here it says Army Air Forces. So we're adding some more information about him so it's more complete from what it was before. What other information do they have here that we could add? We could put under miscellaneous, we can put his unit. I like to see the unit because if somebody does a search by unit to find other people that were in the same unit as he was, that might be interesting. That might be of interest to those people. So his unit was the 23rd Bombardment Squad, 5th Bombardment Group, 13th Air Force. So I'm just going to put the bomb group and the bomb squadron. Bomb squadrons, the smaller size, there were like 3 or 4 bomb squadrons per bombardment group normally. And those people that research this stuff, they're always going to know that the 5th Bombardment Group was in the 13th Air Force. So I'm not going to put that in there because that's kind of a given. 5th Air Force was in the Pacific. So there we have the bombardment squadron and the bomb group that was under. So I'll press save. So we now show what unit he was in. So there's some other things we can add, but for now, for the purpose of this training video, that's what I wanted to show you. So now our summary shows he was a second lieutenant, shows he was in the Army Air Forces, shows what unit he was in. All that's new information that wasn't there before we post this story to Fold3. Of course, the main thing we want to have here is the story about Grant Hansen. And what we're hoping will happen, I'm sure this will be something that'll happen down the road, is this story at one point in the future, someone will be able to go to Grant Hansen's gravesite. They'll be able to scan his headstone here, his grave marker, and it will pull up this profile. That's the goal of why we want all these stories written all in one place here on Fold3. So that's what we're trying to get all these 400 stories, 400,000 stories to do, is to get to this point where it can be posted on Fold3. So again, I want to thank everyone that's decided to try this out. If you just do a few, maybe for some people you know, or maybe you have some affinity with a certain bombardment squadron, or maybe a regiment or a ship in the Navy that you're just focusing on those, that's great. However you want to come about your interest in this, we're just wanting to get as many of these stories shared so that they're there for the final purpose of sharing it with future generations. So that's it. Hope this makes it clear and helps you see how easy it really is to share stories on Fold3. Let me just share one last thing. If you want to be able to tag these so that you can look at them later, the ones that you've done, you can bookmark it right there. And that means you'll have a list of bookmarks and you can come back to all the ones you've added and they've got bookmarks on them. That's what I wanted to share. Until we do another story. Bye.